The main protagonist. This is a character that everyone can grab onto and see a little bit of their self in that character, which is only natural because we see everything through that character's perspective. Even so, this character better not be your favorite, because if you say this character is your favorite character, you will be looked at in disgust and ridicule for daring to like the main character. Because 9 times out of 10, every single main character is the same. They always fix everyone's problem and just somehow, someway, always happen to win in the end. At least, that's how we all thought in the beginning. With a first impression, Yuji Itadori may come across as another generic main character. Especially when taking him at face value, he has a simple act of kindness, which we've seen time and time again from every main character. You know, because it seems like Yuji's personality is as flat as cardboard. It only makes sense because we would perceive it that way, right? And what we see is what we know. Now I just want you to ask yourself, how well are you using those eyes of yours? Ryomen Sukuna has 4 eyes, while Gojo has 6. You think you're matching them in awareness? I don't think so. And do you want to know why? This is because you have to be aware to appreciate Yuji's character. You see, there are layers to his character that the average viewer won't take into consideration when it comes to the plot and the story. Yuji may come across as boring and maybe even a bit simple, but what he offers is completely unlike what we're used to seeing throughout all these years being anime fans. You see, this is something that is beat over your head time and time again. The main character usually has a goal in order to give us a reason to ultimately look at what we're looking at, ultimately making us ask, why should I care about what Yuji is doing in Jujutsu Kaisen? And there is a very simple answer to this question. Yuji Itadori and Jujutsu Kaisen in of itself are revolutionary. Now I know what you're thinking. The main character has an evil, overpowered demon living inside of him. We've seen this from Naruto, we've seen this from Bleach, and we've seen this from Black Clover. However, truth be told, the one thing that makes Jujutsu Kaisen a cut above the rest is actually extremely obvious. Yuji Itadori may use the same inner demon trope, if you would even want to go as far as to call it that, as other anime, but the real difference here, rather than using his inner demon as a source of power, his inner demon is the main antagonist. Unlike the other manga that I previously mentioned, where the main character uses a source of evil in order to enact their own ambition so that they can continue to spread kindness and act the same way as any good guy would in a stereotypical fashion. The good guy will always trump evil, even if his power is evil. But again, this isn't just a source of power that the main character is drawing from. It's an evil, living entity with its own ambitions and goals, which makes anything that could happen to Yuji unpredictable. Unlike what anyone can realize is that Ichigo had to control his inner hollow, Naruto had to control the nine-tailed fox, while Asta had to control his inner demon. Unfortunately, a detail that everyone just keeps missing is the very fact that Ryomen Sukuna is trying to control Yuji, and it's the exact opposite of everything that has been established in previous manga. And I'm more than positive that Ryomen Sukuna will surpass our expectations. Even outside of his inner demon, Yuji still finds his own way to stand on his 2 feet against any of his contemporaries. And he does this while not really setting himself too far apart from what we normally would expect. This is what makes Jujutsu Kaisen great. It does both. It can be traditional, yet tell its own story confidently. Yuji is a prime example of this fact. He's a kind-hearted individual, and he's something that we're used to seeing, yet in moments where his morality comes into play, Yuji truly begins to shine as a character. Because when he enacts his moments of kindness, rather than using Sukuna to enact an inner evil, he uses himself. And we begin to understand that no matter how kind, great, or heroic a character is, they still have an inner evil so that they can take action through their own selfishness. The real beauty that comes from this character is the very fact that in order to enact selflessness, Yuji becomes selfish at moments where his personal beliefs are challenged. Of course, other characters in fictions have beliefs that do get challenged. Yuji's viewpoints are very specific. To go against Yuji is to go against his value of life. Unlike other protags who have a dream of grandeur or a goal that pushes towards their own success, Yuji is only fulfilling a promise and only living his life where the wind takes him. Simply put, he is only fulfilling his role in the world. And watching him develop and accept everything that is happening to him speaks volumes to his character. Yuji may say that he does not want to live his life with regrets, but depending on what may come in the future might make him reconsider everything that he's doing. The reality of every situation Yuji faces, he begins to process just how terrible everything is actually going. And unlike trying to be any type of king or win a simple title, Yuji has a goal that really sets him aside from any other character. And that goal would be his own death. This is something that everyone reading can relate to. No matter what, any and every living being will experience death, and they can all relate to Yuji's character, which makes his story all the more closer to home because unlike watching Luffy do great things, or seeing Asta work his hardest and accomplish something, with Yuji, we begin to feel what he feels, because it's no longer about Yuji winning or losing, it's about Yuji's life. Will his body be taken over? How will he die? Will he actually be able to stop Sukuna from raining terror on the planet? Or will he fall victim and end up being the source of everyone's problem throughout the series? And seeing how he deals with this is the most interesting aspect of his character. What makes this main character so special is the fact that he is not a hero. He is not a good guy who's going to win and always defeat evil at the end of the day. Yuji Itadori is far from a hero. Yuji is simply a victim.